Mr. McLeod,
Contempt for what?
Mr. McLeod, two things are going to happen. You're going to answer my question, or you're going to jail for summary contempt for not complying with the court's request. Do you, Mr. McLeod, understand that the maximum penalty for the charge against you is 3 years in prison and or $1,000 fine?
I don't understand the charges.
Mr. McLeod is in contempt of court taken into custody.
Really? God's sake.
This courtroom showdown is pure chaos from the very beginning. Mr. McLeod is facing charges for allegedly assaulting a police officer, but instead of addressing the accusations, he decides to play the sovereign citizen card. He loudly insists the court has no authority over him, throwing out bogus legal jargon and constantly interrupting the proceedings. The judge, however, isn't having it. Every time McLeod tries to derail the hearing, the judge shuts him down with firm authority. The tension keeps escalating, and by the end, the judge is left with no choice but to send him to a jail cell for the night. What makes this hearing both maddening and hilarious is how convinced McLeod is in his nonsense, only to be completely dismantled by the legal system right in front of everyone.
Do you understand your right to a lawyer, including a court-appointed lawyer?
I understand that.
Okay. And do you wish to represent yourself instead of having an attorney?
Yeah, I'm here by special appearance, and I will be representing myself.
Okay. I'm required by law, before I accept that waiver, to do a couple things. One, advise you of the maximum penalties that you could face for the charges that you're in my court for. Resisting, obstructing conservation officers is a high court misdemeanor punishable by up to 2 years in prison and or $1,000 fine. There's a habitual offender second notice that's been filed by the prosecutor, which would make that a felony punishable by up to 3 years and or $1,000 fine. And marine safety operating while intoxicated is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days and or a $100 to $500 fine. Do you understand the maximum penalty for the charges against you?
Well, I don't even really understand why I'm here, honestly.
Everyone. It's wild to watch unfold. If you enjoy these kinds of courtroom breakdowns, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more. Now, let's get right into it. This hearing is nothing short of a spectacle from start to finish. Mr. McLeod, who's charged with assaulting a police officer, spends the entire time trying to convince the judge that the court has no authority over him. Instead of addressing the serious charges in front of him.
Okay. Well, that's fine. Do you understand the maximum penalty that I just explained to you?
No.
Hold on. I can't let you represent yourself until I establish a couple things.
Well, I need to establish a couple things too, honestly.
Hold on. Well, I can't let you represent yourself until I establish a couple things, or I'm going to be in trouble.
Okay.
Do you understand that the maximum penalty that you could face for the charges that you're here for is up to 3 years in prison and or a $1,000 fine?
I don't understand the nature and cause of the action against me. So
what is it that you don't understand? Do you not understand how long 3 years is, or how much the fine is that I've articulated? Can you tell me what it is you don't understand?
I don't understand the nature and cause of the action against me because there's no established jurisdiction.
That's not what I'm asking you right now. Well, I'll let you place whatever objections you want on the record, Mr. McLeod. I promise you that. Okay? Can we just go one step at a time? So, do you understand the maximum penalty that you could face if you're convicted as charged? 3 years in prison or $1,000 fine.
Well, I have another question because the statutory jurisdiction doesn't exist under the Constitution. So, in order for me to defend myself, could you please tell me where the published rules of conduct are for criminal statutory jurisdiction, or where I can find the nature and cause of this jurisdiction, or how this information exists?
No, I don't even understand what you're asking.
So you're saying this is a statutory jurisdiction under what? The statutes of Michigan, correct?
Mr. McLeod, I've told you what my jurisdiction is.
General jurisdiction.
The people of the state of Michigan voted to convene a constitutional convention in 1961.
Sure.
There was a constitutional convention in 1961 and 1962. They proposed a state constitution. The voters of the state of Michigan ratified that in 1963. Article 6 establishes the judicial power, and the circuit court is a court under that judicial power of Article 6 of the state constitution. And so you're here in my court. I have subject matter jurisdiction over those crimes. I have personal jurisdiction over you because you've been alleged to have committed them in our county. That's my jurisdiction. So, Mr. McLeod, you want to represent yourself? Do you understand the maximum penalty that you could face of 3 years in prison and or $1,000 fine?
One second.
I can see why his attorney would, Drew. Oh, shit.
Hang on, someone in the prosecutor's office is not muted. I'm going to remove you from the meeting at this time.
Oh,
Prosecutor's office is generally allowed to attend to observe. They've participated. I'm removing them from the hearing.
He leans into the classic sovereign citizen playbook, interrupting, spewing fake legal jargon, and shuffling through papers as if he's about to pull a magic trick out of thin air. What's remarkable here, though, is the judge's composure. From the start, he actually gives McLeod the benefit of the doubt, speaking calmly, explaining basic legal concepts, and giving him every opportunity to participate in the process. But McLeod just keeps pretending not to understand, insisting on his nonsense, and acting like he's cracked some hidden legal code. Honestly, it's almost impressive how patient the judge remains while being constantly interrupted. Watching McLeod in action feels like watching someone try to play a game without knowing the rules. He's so confident, flipping through his little pile of laws that don't exist, while everyone else in the courtroom, judge, prosecutor, and even spectators, already know exactly how this is going to end. It's embarrassing and frustrating, but also unintentionally hilarious. You can't help but laugh, and you almost wonder how the judge managed not to laugh too. It makes total sense why his attorney withdrew from the case. Instead of using his right to legal counsel, something guaranteed under the Sixth Amendment, he insists on playing lawyer himself. He could have had a free attorney, but instead he's sitting there in his sunglasses, quoting fake statutes that have no weight in a real courtroom. Meanwhile, the judge calmly dismantles his arguments one by one, almost roasting him in the most professional way possible. The saddest part is that this isn't just funny, it's also self-destructive. Assaulting a police officer is a serious felony that can carry years in prison and take away fundamental rights like voting or firearm ownership. Instead of negotiating a plea or preparing a defense, McLeod is digging himself into a deeper hole with every outburst. The sovereign citizen strategy has been rejected by courts for decades.
Mr. McLeod, do you understand the maximum penalty that you could face?
1 second. Okay, so when enforcement of mere statutes, judges of all courts do not act judicially and are thus are not protected and qualified by limited immunity. That's Owen versus the city. I just want to state a few things for the record since you're claiming this is a jurisdiction under statutory law.
Hang on. Mr. McLeod, can we back it? Look at me for a second. Can we talk here?
I've challenged subject matter jurisdiction and nothing can go forward until that's addressed. You're saying
I did address it and I denied your objection. I have subject matter jurisdiction.
Exists under the Constitution.
Your objection is noted. So, Mr. McLeod, do you understand? Let me explain to you.
Sure.
Sometimes, as I said, people might want to represent themselves, but let's say they have limited intellectual capacity and they don't understand what's going on.
And yet here he is, acting like he's the first person to crack the system. By the end, the judge has had enough. With no other choice, he sends McLeod to a jail cell for the night. It's the only way to put a stop to the circus is created in that courtroom. The end of the day, McLeod comes off less like a mastermind and more like a man caught up in his own delusions. It's entertaining, sure, but also a little sad when you realize the real consequences he's facing. So what do you guys think? Was McLeod...
They have to establish that they know what's going on before I can allow them to represent themselves. I'm required to establish, do you comprehend, do you know the maximum penalty that you could face if you're convicted as a result of this charge? 3 years in prison or $1,000 fine. Do you understand that, Mr. McLeod?
So I'd like to state for the record that
Mr. McLeod, stop.
The court can be...
Stop, Mr. McLeod. If you don't understand it, I'm going to revoke your right to represent yourself and have an attorney represent you because I can't establish that you know what you're doing. So do you know the maximum penalty that you would face?
Your Honor, I've challenged this court's jurisdiction. You haven't established it yet. You said you got a statutory jurisdiction which doesn't exist under the Constitution. I'm trying to figure out where I stand with this. So I can't answer any of your questions until you answer some of mine.
That's not how it works. Are you refusing to answer my question?
No, I'm
Then
saying...
answer it. Do you understand the maximum penalty that you face for this charge?
So judges who become involved in enforcement of
Mr.
these statutes...
McLeod, I have other matters. Mr. McLeod, you know, I understand you want to object to things, and you're going to be allowed to object to things, okay?
Sure.
But we have to do things one step at a time. And I do have other cases today. I'm not going to entertain this for like a whole hour. I've got other cases going on. If you want to dig in your heels and just make this real complicated or real difficult, we could do that. And I can hold you in contempt and you'll go back to a jail cell for a while.
Your
and then
Honor,
we'll
I don't wish to be held in contempt. I just wish to exercise my Sixth Amendment right.
That's fine.
And
So before I can let you under,
I can cite laws that will show you that the exercise of a right can be converted into a crime. You're trying to understand the nature and cause of the action against me. You're not clarifying enough to where I can comprehend it, as you say.
you don't comprehend the maximum penalty that you would face.
I'm not answering any of those questions until you establish that this is a court of the Constitution, has jurisdiction under these jurisdictions.
I established it. I told you. You might think I'm wrong, and you can appeal
There's
it
no
to the
such thing
Court
as a
of Appeals.
statutory jurisdiction.
Mr. McLeod, let me make this simple for you. Do you ever watch, let me make this simple for you.
Sure.
I'm going to ask you this question one more time. One more time.
Okay.
Two things are going to happen. You are either going to answer my question, or I'm going to hold you summarily in contempt, and the court officer will bring you to a jail cell, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. You understand that?
So,
Mr. McLeod,
contempt for what?
Mr. McLeod, two things are going to happen. You're going to answer my question, or you're going to jail for summary contempt for not complying with the court's request. Do you, Mr. McLeod, understand that the maximum penalty for the charge against you is 3 years in prison and or $1,000 fine?
I don't understand the charges.
Mr. McLeod is in contempt of court, taken into custody.
Really? That's it. Protecting my rights is what you said last time. This isn't true. You guys are
Follow unconstitutional
following
orders.
unlawful orders. It's not constitutional at all.
Mr. McLeod's in contempt, he's sentenced to 1 day in jail. Mr. McLeod, your sentence is 1 day in jail. We'll reconvene tomorrow and get you
This is about
notice.
the Constitution. I did nothing wrong except the question exercise my rights.
Genuinely out of touch with reality, or was he just putting on an act to avoid responsibility? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy these wild courtroom moments, don't forget to like and subscribe for more breakdowns. Thanks for watching, and take care. This hearing was absolute chaos from beginning to end. Mr. McLeod, charged with assaulting a police officer, walks into court determined to play the sovereign citizen card. Instead of answering basic questions, he interrupts, shouts over the judge, and throws around fake legal jargon while flipping through a pile of meaningless papers like he's about to uncover some secret law that will magically set him free. What makes this clip so fascinating is the judge's patience. From the start, he tries to explain things slowly and fairly, giving McLeod every chance to cooperate. But the more the judge talks, the more McLeod pretends not to understand. He acts like he's cracked the code of the legal system, when in reality, he's just embarrassing himself. The funniest part is how confident he looks while making zero progress. He genuinely seems to believe that his made-up arguments will force the judge to dismiss the case. But instead, the judge calmly shuts him down at every turn. Professional, sharp, and unshaken. Honestly, it's like watching someone try to win a game without knowing any of the rules, but it's no surprise his attorney withdrew from the case. Instead of using his right to legal counsel, which he could have had for free under the Sixth Amendment, McLeod chose to represent himself, and it shows. Assaulting a police officer is a serious felony that could land him in prison for years, but instead of focusing on a real defense or even a plea deal, he wastes everyone's time with nonsense arguments courts have been rejecting for decades. By the end, the judge has no choice but to throw him in a jail cell for the night. It wasn't savage, it was just reality. McLeod dug himself into a deeper hole with every word, and the judge simply called it like it was .so. What do you think? Is McLeod actually delusional? Or was he just pretending to avoid responsibility? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy these courtroom breakdowns, don't forget to like and